Good day, YouTube. Sean, the average angler here. So, you want to get started in tournament bass fishing in 2024. It is the end of November 2023, so I'm bringing this to you now because I think things have changed, and for new people coming into it, I don't want you to sour on it or have a bad experience. I'd kind of like you to be prepared for what you might encounter, and possibly how to pick the right tournament circuit depending on your situation and your circumstances. With forward-facing sonar, that can kind of throw some things in the mix. Now, first of all, if you are solo, meaning you don't have a team partner, maybe you don't have a boat, and you're just getting into tournaments, that's fine. Out west, we have shared weight format pro-ams, which are fantastic because they are great for learning, right? You're paired with a different pro each day, and it's in their benefit for you to help catch fish because you weigh in the 5 biggest fish that were caught on the boat. Doesn't matter who caught them, co-angler or the pro, either way. If it's your first time getting into tournaments at all, that's my recommendation. Fish a shared weight pro-am. Out west, we have 2. I don't know about the rest of the country. It's my understanding that a lot of places in the country don't have shared weight programs. We'll get to that in a minute. So right now we have New Gen Bass. They have a Pro-Am division. It looks like there's 3 tournaments. Each one's 2 days, starting in January at Lake Shasta, then Clear Lake in March, and then Folsom in May, and then they have a championship at Oroville in October. These are a great way to get started because, one, they're not the hugest commitment. You don't have to pre-fish if you're signing up as a co-angler, but you can always get on. Most of these have chat boards that you can get onto and try and find someone to practice with, someone to sign up with, whatever it may be. If you pair up with somebody, then you're guaranteed a spot, right? If you sign up with the pro, then you're guaranteed a spot. Otherwise, it's first come, first serve. The other choice out west is the WON Bass 2024 Western Opens, right? You can see that Lake Shasta starts in the end of January, beginning of February. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events. Including the U.S. Open. These are 3-day events. Typically they're during the week. I don't know because I haven't looked at the dates. Typically they're like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But again, the WON Bass Open on Clear Lake, I do every year. Doesn't matter if I'm fishing any other tournaments or not. I don't like to miss that one. It's a great event. It's a fun time. Sometimes I fish as a pro. Sometimes I fish as a co-angler. It just depends on how serious I am. And when I don't want to get all wrapped up in it, I just want to go fish and have fun, I fish as a co-angler. I'll take my boat and I'll practice, but I fish as a co-angler. These are great events because your partner is going to work with you. And not that Clear Lake really plays to the forward-facing sonar so much, but on some places it will. And there's been a lot of complaints from co-anglers being backseated or not having a chance to catch fish. And I understand that. I get it. So these are great events to sign up for to protect yourself from that. Because like I said, it's in your pro's best interest to have you contribute to the day. So he's going to kind of lead you down the road of what you should do, where to throw, all that kind of stuff, okay? Out east, or pretty much anywhere that's not west, I don't know if they have a shared weight. In that case, pick lakes where forward-facing sonar may not be as prevalent, or there are the Bass Nation and the Federation. And I'm sure there's some others that are team. They're not team events. They're draw events. Lower level, not necessarily pro-am like BASS or FLW. If you don't have a boat, that's one way to get in. The other one's kayak fishing. Honestly, if you can spring for the kayak, or you have a kayak and the equipment to do it, it's a little less expensive than fishing out of a bass boat. But I've also looked at some of the stuff, man, they're getting pretty fancy. So that's another thought. The other after that would be, and I always recommend the co-angler experience in a shared weight format your first year. Kind of get your feet wet, know what to expect, see how things work, all that kind of thing. After that, you can sign up for the BAM circuit, FLW, bass, where it's you fish for your own. But at least you'll have some sort of idea of the happenings and goings on and the way everything work with the events. Then there's also team events. You fish with a buddy. If you don't have a friend that fishes, there's lots of forums and groups you can get on Facebook. You can find a lot of groups, local bass clubs, those kinds of things. Team up with somebody and get involved in team events. Team events are fun. The way I pick team events, what I'm going to fish, number one is what works for my schedule. And yeah, I know. How do you know what your schedule is a year in advance? Well, mine's pretty flexible. I have plenty of vacation time. So for me, dates weren't so much a deal as getting to fish the lakes that I wanted to. Out west, a lot of our circuits fish the same lakes over and over. So there's a circuit, wine region might be Berryessa and Clear Lake. Two great lakes, but for tournaments, I really like to get to different waters. One, it forces you to go to different places, which will help you become a better angler. We don't have a lot of that out west. New Gen has a region that is touching 4 bodies of water, and I believe the Federation on the team side, or is the other one, and then kayak fishing. I like to go to different bodies for that reason. I want to learn. I don't just want to be a hammer on just one lake. I like to hone my skills fishing for different species, different types of lakes. So for me, that's what works. If you're more pressed for time, maybe you fish the local body and a circuit there. But choose what works for you. First of all, schedule-wise. Second would be, I look at payouts, okay? What's the circuit paying out? And look, folks, they have to make money. It costs money to do it. But on a local team circuit, if somebody's making their living off of one region, that's probably a bit extreme. I think a good payout in a team circuit is somewhere between 70 and 80%. I don't let that dictate the circuit I fish necessarily. I would fish one that was less if it kind of fit my schedule, and fish the lakes I wanted to fish. I think the biggest thing is to keep in mind, while being competitive and wanting to win all the time, team tournaments are for fun, right? Hang out with your buddy, spend the day, a couple days with your buddy out fishing. I mean, that's, and then, you know, doing well is just a bonus. It's a competitive side of things. And then once you do that for a while, get used to the tournament rigors, launching, how blast-offs works, positioning for blast-offs, all those kinds of things. And then you can consider maybe you're going to go pro. Maybe you're going to go start signing up for the One Bass or New Gen or BAM circuits. BAM has a qualification-only circuit, I'm not familiar with all the details. BAM is Bass Angler Magazine, so I'm sure you can go online to Bass Angler Magazine, look that up, get the information if you'd like. Mark Lassane's a great guy. He just starting that circuit up this year. If you're signing up as a co-angler and going in someone else's boat, and this is more of a do as I say, not as I do, try not to overpack to take on the boat. I don't overpack. I tend to take more rods than I'm going to tell you right now. And I think some circuits actually have rules that you can only take up to 6 rods. I tend to take 8 on some bodies of water, not all. Shasta, Oroville, no problem. I could probably go with 4 or 5. But Clear Lake, it's a little more difficult. The Delta, it's a little more difficult. But it's just a consideration, you know. Bring some snacks, tackle. My tackle, I typically will break it down into my plain O boxes, and I have all my plain O boxes by category, so I have, I don't know, 100, 120 of them, something. But for the tournament, I'll break it down, right? I'll pick 4 or 5 crankbaits. I'll get some terminal tackle, whatever I think I might need. And I fill compartments up so that I can condense down to about 4 Plano boxes that I carry in a bag. That way, if there's not a compartment for me to put it into, it's in my bag and it's safe and out of the way, usually under my feet in front of the seat. Tournament fishing is a lot of fun, folks, and I encourage you to get involved. It's a great way to hone your skills, get better, become a better and more efficient fisherman. It's fun. You meet a lot of great people out on the water. Team events is not a way to make a living, at least not in California. It's not like Texas where they have several hundred teams show up. Probably some other states as well. California is not like that. If you get in one over 100, that's a pretty big event. But get involved. Get involved, go out there, have a good time. It's a good way to unwind, hang out with your buddies. As you get older, family, work, all that other stuff comes out. And tournaments is a great way for me to get away and hang out with friends every now and then, right? A few weekends a year. So I encourage you to get involved. I'm gonna go fishing next weekend, so I want to do a video. I believe I'm gonna go to Lake Berryessa. I gotta talk to Kevin, but look for that video to come. I still have a G Loomis IMX Pro spinning rod to review, and I'm going to review the Powell Naked 703 casting. So I will be bringing those to you. Y'all have a great day. Be careful, it's the holidays. Enjoy, spend time with family, and fish on.